It's vote to save and the three nominees are Mickey, Michael and Jack. Let me know in the comments how you voted and let's talk about tonight's show. Celebrity Big Brother episode 4, and as we know, Mickey received the killer nomination from Jojo. Chris and Daly were immune. Apparently nominations took 8 hours. We're not going to talk about them all, but we'll just cover a choice few. Jojo voted for Michael because he puts his feet on the counter, and I must admit, even I would find that annoying, and I'm not exactly the tidiest person, but I would just say, why have you got your feet on the counter? It's not that much of a big deal. However, because it's first nominations, a lot of them are clutching at straws. For example, Donna voting for Angelica because she had the same pyjamas. I'm surprised they let her away with that one. Donna also voted for Jack because she says he wears 3 different aftershaves in one day and she can taste it and it's basically choking her. And it's so funny because on the Late and Live show the other night, they were showing all his aftershaves on the table, and the fact that they brought that up and then she voted for him, I was like, what's the chances? I seen a podcast where Danny says he was worried he was going to get nominated because he's farts, and then Jack actually voted for him for that. Michael voted for Patsy because she asked about his wig, and he says he was sensitive about it. And that's all fine and well, right? You can be sensitive about things, but what I don't understand is if he's sensitive about it, why doesn't he get a different one? Daly voted for Michael because he's loud, and Jojo because he doesn't really know her that well. I've complained about people being too loud before, but when you go into the Big Brother house, you have to expect people to be loud to some degree. The only time that I really moan about it on my videos is like when people are in bed and they're trying to sleep. Like when Paul and Olivia used to run around the room at like 3 in the morning. And I thought I would go mental. But day to day, like I don't know if it would annoy me. Probably because I would be the loud one. So let's talk about Mickey for a moment. The other day when I found out what he had says to Jojo and I hadn't actually seen the footage yet, I just read it. I was saying that actually sounds really bad, but I don't think that he would have meant it in that way. Then when I actually seen him saying it, again I thought he didn't mean it in that way, and I'm not trying to stick up for him because he's old or whatever, because that is literally no excuse. But I genuinely think that he felt bad after they pulled him up about it. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, he's an actor, he knows what he's doing. He does not have a fucking clue what he's doing. He doesn't, and he's not a great actor. I've said this before. I think that he's being really genuine. Tonight after he had dinner, he went for a sleep, and they were saying, well, I think he's starting to really enjoy himself and he maybe wants to stay or whatever. And then Danny says, oh, I like the way that him and Jojo kind of made up after the conversation. And Jojo was saying, oh, we really had a lovely conversation. Now, I seen the video that Jojo's partner posted and she wasn't happy and she was saying he should have been removed from the house or whatever. But I think that if Jojo really wanted him removed from the house, she would have said to Big Brother. What I don't understand is a lot of comments on social media are saying Jojo's a snake, she knows what she's doing, or she'll be in the diary room crying and playing the victim. She's not done anything like that at all. She handled it very maturely. She hasn't even moaned about it, and now she's saying, oh, we had a lovely conversation. Why are people hating her literally for no reason? I had somebody commenting in one of my last videos, and I think they made about 5 or 6 comments in a row, and one of them was like, oh, Jojo Siwa, who even is she? Well, I'm sorry, but just because you're over 50 and you don't know what Dance Moms is and you've not seen her on any other reality TV and you don't know what Jojo Bo's are and you've not seen her on Nickelodeon, that's not her problem. She's still a celebrity. And FYI, there's plenty of young people out there who don't know who Mickey Rourke is. Does that mean he's not famous? Something very unexpected happened tonight when Daly and Danny were having a conversation, and Danny was saying, I misjudged you, I thought you said something about me and I thought you didn't like me or whatever. And then Daly was like, no, everything's fine, like I'll come and see one of your shows. I was a bit taken back. I was like, I was not expecting that today. So anyway, got totally sidetracked there. You know what I'm like, I go off on a tangent. So he refused to vote and Big Brother says, we need to remind you of the rules. He doesn't know the rules. He signed the contract, he wanted the money. He doesn't know fucking one rule, he doesn't know anything that's going on. When he was sitting in that diary room saying, I don't want to put anybody off the shelf, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, people will be saying, oh, he's an actor, he knows what he's doing. But no, I think he's being genuine. He voted for Patsy because he says her cooking was crap, and then he voted for Michael because he's a politician and he's obviously got a thing against politicians in the government and stuff. And I'm actually surprised that they let him use that reason. I'm surprised that they didn't say like what specifically about his personality or something. The fact that he just says he's a politician, I don't know, like, to be honest, I think they were just happy to get a cohesive sentence out of him. Right, so I'm going through a bit of an emotional time in my life right now. So when they found out who was up for nomination and Michael was upset, I actually was nearly crying for him. What is wrong with me? I'm crying for a freaking Tory. I think because when he first went in and he was speaking to Danny and he says, "Oh, I feel free," I just thought that is an actual sin for him. And I know that he could choose his job, he could have done a different job if he wanted, but he just seems like such a happy, nice person, even though he's a Tory. And can I just say, actually, when I was on live the other day, people were saying, "Oh, he was getting booed when he was going in," and I says, "That's because he's a Tory. Maybe you're not allowed to say that." And I got a violation for hate speech, and I was like, what? I was actually sticking up for him. Maybe you're just not allowed to say that. Maybe I need to say conservative. I don't know. I don't really know the rules. So he was saying, "I'm more upset about that than losing the election." And Danny took him outside and he was saying, "Oh, like, I really hope you stay. Like, you're a really nice person." And he was giving him a cuddle. And he says, "I'll be losing my street cred and all that." And I just felt so bad for him because I think he's just trying to be in there and he's just trying to be himself. Maybe that's the first time he could be himself, really. I don't know, like, I don't know, is it just me? Like, am I just going through like this like mega emotional time in my life and it's affecting me, or is it actually like emotional? Let me know in the comments. Mickey was sitting talking to everybody and he's like, "Right, I'm up, so I'm out." And they're going, "No, you need votes." And he's like, "Aye, so I'm out." Like, he obviously wants to go, but he doesn't have a fucking clue. When they asked him how they felt, Jack was like, "Oh, I'm gutted," or whatever, and he was just kidding on. I don't actually think he's bothered whatsoever. But when Chesney voted for him because he says he doesn't like to be touched, I felt like that was a bit unfair. Because I'm a hugger. I've got quite a lot of friends who don't like to be touched, and what I'll say to them, "Are you okay to be hugged?" And sometimes they say no, and depending on what mood I'm in, I'll hug them anyway. But one of these days, they will knock me out. Like, not everybody likes to be touched. I've got a friend who doesn't even like you to like pat her on the shoulder or anything. Do you know what I mean? We're all different. When Mickey was talking about why he couldn't sleep because of stuff that happened to him when he was younger, I just felt so bad for him because apparently it was something to do with his stepdad. But people are also saying, "Oh, he's had allegations against him and all that." But I read about it yesterday and apparently it wasn't him that the woman was accusing. But I mean, I don't know. I don't even know when it happened or anything. I was just quickly reading something about it. And honestly, I don't think he's going to leave tomorrow. I think that Jack's going to leave. This week is Vote to Save, and it's absolutely diabolical for me to say. But I gave my 5 votes to Michael. This is much like the time when Henry was in. I think I voted for Henry every single time. What's the world coming to? Nathan for last year was on earlier, and I was on his live a couple of weeks ago. And when I commented, I says I voted to save Michael. And he's like, "Oh, that's 3 Tories you like now." I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that. He says, "Oh, that's a hat trick." And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I know I always say it, but Tories are people too. So let me know in the comments who your 5 votes went towards. If you're interested in talking about Big Brother, consider giving me a follow. I really want to get to 10,000 followers. And I've not even got 7,000 yet. So, I hate to ask, but I might as well. Or if you know anybody else who likes to have a rant about Big Brother, share this video. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye!